Hey, everybody. So, another episode of Liberty Ladies Unite, only it is me and our guest co host tonight, Leo, which
Hello.
Leo has called in numerous times. He's like a good friend of Natalie and I's. Natalie is taking care of family business today. That's all I can tell you. She is at an undisclosed location. So, and Leo is in his car, and he just looks like a head in the darkness, which I think is great. So, Leo, I had just kind of listened to a number of things over the news and social media and things like that. I was thinking that maybe we could talk about. I saw an interesting thing. You know, I like to focus on this whole phony scamdemic that's going on. And I
The
saw
one you're not allowed to say in your studio.
exactly. You're not allowed to say the word that starts with a C and ends with a D. You can call it anything else you want, but you can't call it that.
Right.
So you heard that on the radio show, correct?
Yes, I've heard that's one of your rules.
Yes, that's one of my rules. So on our show, you do not say that word. That's a dirty word. That's like saying various different other types of curse words that you can't say. It's like one of them. So I saw an interesting thing. Tucker Carlson was talking about this, and this really, really caught my attention. It's like it just so backs up the whole scamdemic thing. He said that somehow what somebody did, well, you know how the you know how the Red Cross, they're always taking blood donations all the time. People donate
Yeah,
blood.
they do take a lot of donations, but I
So
sometimes question how that happens. The percentage that actually goes to help people.
I've kind of wondered that myself, and it's like, are they selling that blood? I bet they are. So
Quite possibly.
am I providing a product that somebody's just charging a bunch of money for? I just kind of wonder that. It's like, well, why aren't I getting a piece of the action, right?
I
It's
can
my
see that.
stuff.
You
Anyway, so
agree to it.
yeah, I love how we get off on these tangents where that wasn't what I was going to talk about at all. Then we start talking about people scamming you on your blood. Anyway, so he's talking about how for some reason somebody decided to randomly check blood sample, do a blood test on 39 different blood donations that the Red Cross had collected back from December of last year. And these were samples spread out all across the country, not just in one place. 39 samples. Guess what they found?
What did
In
they find?
every single one of these blood donation samples, every single one of them tested positive for the Rona.
Wow.
All, not just some of them, all of them, every single one. December of 2019, samples from December of 2019 from various people all across the country. We're not talking about just one place, all across coast to coast.
That's
Is that interesting? I found that really interesting.
huh.
So if that's the case, and I've been saying this all along, this has been my theory, that probably almost all of us were infected last year.
Quite possible. I mean, it's not like that notion doesn't really come across your mind when you think about how long has this virus been out for. I think a lot of people think that it was more or less created in a laboratory, but they're not giving us the right days and times of when this was happening.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of people who have wanted to examine that capability and see what it is when you place it against facts. Could this possibly spread as far and as wide as it has how easy is it really to contact it if we're still getting the same percentages of the flu?
Yeah.
So I think it's quite possible also that Corona could have possibly been manufactured before them, possibly in a different environment, possibly different variants of it. It's possibly spread as far and as wide as it has.
That's weird.
How easy is it really to contact it?
My phone is acting weird.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's like echoing way past what
Well, no,
I'm.
I couldn't turn it all the way down. That's really strange. Anyway, okay. Hey, David. I see that you're in there. Hey, David, do us a favor. Share this broadcast on to whoever you have on your list. Just everybody that joins, just share it on your list. See if we can get more people in here. So anyway, so I just think that being as every single sample tested, all tested positive. I just that's I just think that says so much.
Right.
These weren't targeted samples. So okay, so there's an interesting conspiracy theory I want to talk about. Now, first of all, so many people, well, the media does this all the time. They make this mistake constantly. They they take something that they think is not true and they call it a conspiracy theory. Okay, which drives me crazy. These people are so stupid. Okay, so what's the definition of a conspiracy? Well, that's pretty easy. A conspiracy is one or more people colluding together, plotting together to accomplish something, right?
Right.
What's a theory? Okay, a simple. A theory is something that is a idea that you have, which you believe may be true, but you haven't proven it yet. You got a better definition, or does that sound pretty good to you?
That sounds close. I think also with conspiracy theories is that it's a group of people that have undercovered evidence and justification for certain things to take place. I think that also comes into play with that because with that, I think that's how a lot of conspiracies, you know, people will try to take out what some scientists have said and try to prove it in a different manner.
Yeah,
For example, you have Empire of the Three Cities. If you've ever heard of that one, where there's a connection of, course, Washington D.C., the inner city of London, and as well as Rome. All of them don't pay taxes. All of them have their own set of rules,
oh, really? Interesting.
and they all three of them have obelisks. Now, if you look what an obelisk is, it's to honor the god of Amun Ra. Now,
Did you see
what?
that? Did you see that? Talking about obelisk, did you see the one that there was a thing? It was all over social media about an obelisk that was found out in the desert that is like 24 feet tall total, and 12 foot of it is in the ground in the desert, and then 12 feet of it is sticking out, and that's weird, huh? That and it's way out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, so you think about, well, let's say that somebody put it there. Wouldn't you think that would really take some equipment to dig a 12-foot hole to put that? And not to mention, it's apparently some big, heavy metal thing, something that's 24 feet high. And I don't know, it looked like it was pretty wide to me. You're talking about a really heavy piece of metal there.
Yeah, and so you see, like the Washington Memorial, that's an obelisk. So
Right.
that's one example of that. The other one that's existent is the one in the center of St. Petersburg. I mean, not St. Petersburg, St. Peter's Cathedral in Rome. There's clearly an obelisk in the center.
Yeah.
So what would be the meaning of that? If you understand what an obelisk is, like I just said, it's the god of Amun-Ra, which belongs to Egyptian. What is a phallic symbol that's residing inside of the Washington Memorial? What's it doing in the center of most holy places, Rome, St. Peter's outer area? It's right there. And then you have Cleopatra's actual needle that was brought over to inner city of London, which,
Yeah.
by the way, has nothing to do with outer London or greater part of Britain, much like Washington, D.C. has absolutely nothing to do with the District of Columbia or the state around it. Also in Rome, when you go to that area, it's not really a part of the rest of the country. Kind of
Yeah.
has its own thing going on. So they say that there's a connection between all three of them and how they operate. Well, for example, you have London, which has some of the highest and almost all the world's uh, number one banking industries. You have the head of many states there. So there's that, and then Rome, while it controls a large population of religion,
Right.
and America, while it's the most powerful country in the world. So,
Yeah.
so
By the
you
way,
see how a conspiracy can form
oh
from
yeah.
something like that,
But see,
but it's kind of hard to put the pieces together.
the point that I'm making is just because something may or may not be a conspiracy theory does not make it false.
Right.
These dumb news people, it's like they don't know the definition of what a conspiracy is. They don't know what the definition of theory is. So they say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Okay, well, it's a theory. Let's prove it then, and then it'll be an actual conspiracy. It won't be a theory anymore. It'll be a factual conspiracy. Hey, something interesting here. We have two Davids watching us right now online. And one of them said, he said, back in 2019, I was driving Uber in Santa Fe, and there were trucks going up and down Cerrillos Road, and they were spreading a fog alongside of the road. I was giving rides for about 2 hours, and the trucks were doing it all over town. That's weird, huh? And then, let's see, kind of like the chemtrails from the jets,
Right. I've heard of those.
I, I don't put anything past the darkest areas of our government. Like, for instance, okay, many presidents that have taken office have said up front that they were going to declassify all the information about the Roswell crash in 1947. A lot of them said that. I think Trump even said
I've
that.
been hearing that all my life.
Right. But what happens is once the president is in office, suddenly that just goes away and it doesn't happen. It's like somebody, as soon as he gets in office, takes him aside and says, "Mr. President, uh, you can't do that, and this is why." And then suddenly it goes silent, and you don't hear
Yeah.
about it anymore.
They'll never talk about that.
So one of the most interesting conspiracy theories lately that was pointed out by a friend of mine, and this is very interesting. She's been sending me a lot of photos and stuff because they're all over the net. Okay, you know how the other day supposedly Joe Biden had a trip and fall or whatever, and he broke his ankle?
Right. That he's been
Okay.
putting it on different feet, putting pressure incorrectly. That it's probably not true that he fractured his
Well,
foot with
here's the
that one.
theory. Here's the theory about this. Yet another conspiracy theory, and we defined conspiracy theory. So when I say it's a conspiracy theory, that doesn't mean it's false. That means it's a theory, and we're evaluating the evidence. So what I have found is that, and there are photos of celebrities politicians, even McCain, supposedly broke his ankle. Now, okay, my entire life, I've had some really bad falls. I've had skiing accidents. I've had snowmobile accidents. I've had motorcycle accidents. I've twisted my ankle. I've sprung my ankle. I have never broke my ankle. Now, I don't know too many people that have. I would assume it's kind of hard to break your ankle. Because, boy, that skiing accident I had, I don't know how I didn't break my ankle on that because I really wrenched it good. And then I got back up and skied some more. And of course, it hurt
I've
like
broken my wrist before, and that's pretty much close to that.
yeah. So, but the point I'm making is you've got, and Ellen DeGeneres also broke her ankle. Various different celebrities, especially the ones that are supposedly tied in with this whole Pizzagate thing. You know about Pizzagate?
Yes, I've heard of that.
Okay. All right. So, why? Okay. And another thing I've been hearing for quite a while is that these people have been being investigated secretly by the DOJ for the Pizzagate thing.
Right.
So if you wanted to walk around in public and not have anybody notice that you were wearing an ankle monitor, how might hide that? What story might you make up? Oh, there you go. Your light went out.
Right.
So this is the theory. Okay, this is the theory that all of these people have been under investigation. They've been arrested. They've been indicted. They have been fitted with ankle monitors. And because they want to hide that fact, they make up a story that they broke their ankle and they put a boot on to cover the ankle monitor.
Yeah, I've heard that, but I've also heard that Barr has already been dismissed by Trump. I don't know how true that is. I was hearing about that.
I don't know. I haven't heard that. Because I mean, I was hearing just as late as just a little while ago news reports of things that Barr is currently doing. So I don't know.
I was hearing something about Trump possibly not being pleased with his work or something. I'm not sure.
Well, I haven't been too pleased with his work either, honestly. I mean, he's been investigating all of this stuff with the Clinton emails and all the other stuff that there's clearly lots of evidence, and yet nobody's been arrested. Nobody's house has been raided in the middle of the night and had them dragging out and they're drag them out of their house in their pajamas.
Exactly. There's no real prosecution involved. It's like
Nothing. It's like, okay, there's all this evidence, and yet you haven't arrested anybody.
I don't know. I find that awkward because it sounds like there's a reason why he doesn't want to bring charges against him. Like there's something going on there that we should know about, and we're not getting the gist of the whole picture as to why hasn't he pressed forward if he has complete immunity and he's just doing his job. There has to be something going on there in order for this guy to back off. I mean, if you have evidence and you have people that you need to indict, why hasn't he done so already? It's like he keeps saying that he's gonna do it, and then he
Yeah,
doesn't not.
yeah. And
He doesn't
then
do it in the end.
Durham's been supposedly doing something for over a year, and it's like Durham hasn't. You'd think after a year of investigations that somebody, you know, normally in these sort of things, you would think that you'd take somebody, some low-hanging fruit, somebody that you can get, and you can coerce them, and you can say, okay, listen, we got this dirt on you, and if you want to talk, then we can go easier on you on the prosecution. But from what we've seen, they haven't arrested anybody.
No, they haven't.
And then John Roberts in the Supreme Court. going back to, remember that crazy decision he made on Obamacare? I mean, Obamacare was clearly unconstitutional, yet John Roberts uh, just kind of twisted things around and said it wasn't unconstitutional. And what do they got on John Roberts? Now, also, I heard recently, I've heard from a couple of different sources that John Roberts was on the fly list with Jeffrey Epstein. That maybe he's been out there to the ranch and he's been boinking with some young girls, and they've got some dirt on him.
You know, there's a lot of people on that list. I've seen lists, but I can't confirm if they're the real list.
I know, who
You know,
knows. That's
you
why.
get a lot of, there's famous people on there, and there's people that you probably haven't heard of but have money. You know, so
Yeah, or like um, Tom Hanks,
yeah,
all the weird stuff that went on with him. And then I
yeah. He
saw,
finally moved to Greece, wasn't it?
yeah, right. You know, I saw these pictures of him from when he supposedly returned from that movie project he was working on. And there were people that posted pictures. Okay, here's a picture we have of the side of his head, and you can clearly see what his ear looks like. And they showed the picture of when he supposedly returned and when he got off the plane at the airport. And somebody zoomed in on that, and it clearly was not his ear. Yeah, and it's like that's not the same person. Yet that's the person that got off the airplane that they said was him.
Huh.
Just
That's interesting.
and these things they happen, and the mainstream media, of course, we know they lie about everything. They call it a conspiracy theory. Well, you're right, it is a conspiracy theory, and I would like to have a little bit more information on it so that maybe we don't have to call it a theory anymore and we know that it's actually a conspiracy.
Yeah, but they're not gonna open up like that. Unfortunately, we have to go and find the puzzle pieces to figure out what's going on
Oh, I know.
with everything. You know.
Just like I was telling you about the celebrities and the politicians and stuff, all with these ankle boots on that supposedly broke their ankles. Somebody showed me a collage of all, just lots and lots of these celebrities and politicians all over the course of like a 2-year period in which they all just broke their ankles and had to wear an ankle boot.
Those are some weak-legged people, I tell you.
I tell you, don't you think?
It's a little unfortunate, you know.
Yeah. So I find that interesting. And yeah, they make it very, very difficult for you to prove anything because they're really careful about how they cover the tracks. But you almost have to look for the information that isn't there. It's like, well, why did this person disappear for all this time and we didn't see them in public?
Well, that's a good question. You know, there's some people that sneak away, and then there's some people like Jim Carrey. He's been away for a very long time. That
He's
guy kind of
involved
came back a little
too.
weirded out.
Well, there were rumors that he was involved in Pizzagate too. And you're right, he's just kind of been off the grid, hasn't he? He
Yeah,
was
like
found.
there's something that happened to that guy, and I'm not sure what it was, but it affected him in a different manner,
Yeah,
like the way he presents himself. And then like when he finally came out of uh hibernation, or what I call it, you know, the guy looked really scruffy, you know. Looked
yeah.
like the guy had been hiding out in the woods for a while or something, you
Hold on,
know.
hold on a second. Hey, Natalie.
Hey there.
I have Leo on with me. We've gotten into a really
Awesome.
interesting conversation. We're talking about conspiracy theories.
Ooh, cool.
And
Well, I don't know if you all heard the great news about the city council public ordinance about the fines and the jail time that Cynthia Borrego had been co-sponsoring.
okay, yeah, fill us in on that.
it got taken off the table.
I guess there was so much outrage, it started to worry them a little bit, huh?
Yes. Even Cynthia Borrego was like, well, I think there's some miscommunication in the community because this is just supposed to, help support our officers. It's like, yeah, no. Everyone knew what this was really about.
We knew that. And I wonder if me talking about it on Rock Talk last Saturday had any effect on that.
I'm sure that every little bit helped because I know that even yesterday I had friends who were trying to call city council members texting me saying, why can't we find their phone numbers? And this is something now that I'm outraged about because it turns out you can't directly call city council members. They only have, I encourage everybody to go on the website and try to find their phone numbers. You can only find an email address and then phone numbers for their, how do they put it, like some kind of analyst, policy analyst. I mean, a fancy term for an assistant or a secretary, policy analyst.
Right.
But they don't have direct numbers.
Interesting.
Even congressmen and women list 2 numbers, one for their Washington office and one for the state in which they and the district in which they reside.
Right. I mean, I think if you're going to be a public figure, they should, in working for the people, they should be able to call you.
Yeah, you are an elected official. In the name of all that's transparent and in being reachable and accessible to your constituents. And what I'm hoping too is that more people in Albuquerque realize just how inaccessible their council women and men are because, they still got flooded with phone calls to their policy assistant and emails up the wazoo. I mean, one of my friends was literally on the website. They have a place where you can, post public comments, send comments to specific councilmen and women. And kudos to her, she was just sending them to every single council member. Yeah. She's like, well, if this is the only way we can get a hold of you, okay, then let's go, let's do it. So there were some good ones on there.
That's awesome.
I also had a lot of friends who are disabled, various disabilities, who were just outraged by this. And they have been calling, and there was a huge push. And I think the best thing here is people have seen that because our elected officials are still elected. They still govern at the will of the people. But if we shout loud enough and push back, they have to listen.
And for those of you that are listening, okay, what was apparently proposed is they were talking about they were talking about the city passing some kind of ordinance to reinforce something that is an illegal mandate by the state. So basically they wanted to enforce something that's not a law, and they wanted to be able to fine people for not wearing a mask like $500 or maybe even put them in jail for as much as 90 days.
I saw that.
But for violating a public health ordinance, although according to Cynthia Borrego, she's like, well, it wasn't like you're going to get, slapped with a fine for not wearing a mask. It was people who were interfering with, law enforcement and forcing public health orders. And I'm like,
what the heck does that mean?
What does that mean? Like, you're going to assault a police officer because he's trying to give somebody a ticket for
I don't even know what the heck that means.
It's already illegal to interfere and to try to stop a police officer while they're in the midst of doing their duty. You can't do that. That's called assault, actually.
It is.
Yeah, you can't assault a police officer. You can't impede you can't impede them while they're in the midst of doing their duty. That's ridiculous. We don't need extra fines for that. They were trying to sneak something through so that Albuquerque could de facto make the governor's public health orders law in Albuquerque.
That's what they wanted to do. De
And
facto.
people were like, no way, Jose. Oh, hey, that's perfect for New Mexico.
Yeah.
Jose. Yeah, we got a lot of them. And they're like, yeah, no, not in our city. And this is encouraging.
Do you know what Jose's brother's name is?
Who?
Jose B.
Jose B. I never heard that one. I never remember that. But yeah, so this should be encouraging for all of you out there watching or listening. It works. Make your voice known. Email, call, make a big stink about it. You let your elected officials know when you are not happy with them. It works.
Yeah, apparently it does.
Yes, it does.
And it's particularly effective at the city level because, unlike at the state and a national level, these city councilors are voted in by, sometimes in some districts, a bare handful of votes, like a few hundred.
Yeah.
Maybe they won by 10 votes or 4. That's not unheard of at the city council level. So, they
which
know
means
that if their constituents are mad, they better listen up.
Which means, Natalie, that there are so few people that actually vote in city council elections that if we garnered all the resources we have with all the people we've met in these rallies and protests this year, and we find if we find good people in our group that can run for those offices, we can get our masses to vote for them and get them elected.
Yes, we have to do that. The next election is in 2 years, barely 2 years. We've got to get people to run for school boards, city council, county seats, our local stuff. I know everyone's like, oh, but Senate and House, and no. It starts at... You
can get a hell of a lot done on the local level.
Yes, you can.
We've got to get it done at the local level, and then the state and the national level will start to follow.
Because what you can do, if you have control of the city council, you can totally hobble our socialist mayor of Albuquerque, and in turn, you can really put a hurting on the dictator in Santa Fe as well.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely, and that's
it starts all with grassroots.
What's that?
It starts with grassroots.
That's what we need to do. This has gone way too far.
Yeah.
And many other cities, not just New Mexico, but in other states as well. And I've got some stuff to talk about when I get back.
Goody. We'll have fun on Saturday.
Are like, you know what? We're going to do things our way. Roswell. Did you see the Roswell City Council? Roswell City Council basically has said, no, we're not locking down. I mean, they had lots of people. They had physically, their city council meets. People can still come in. Granted, they're wearing masks, but they can still come in and make their voices heard. They can still comment.
Yeah.
We can't do that in Albuquerque. We have these stupid Zoom city council meetings where only a certain number of people can actually watch. And then good luck getting in your public comments, and only a few people can sign up to actually call in a comment. Yeah. No, Roswell decided, no, we're not locking down.
Yeah. Good.
We're good.
Good.
We're good. We're not going to make our economy. It's like, yes, good for you. That's what we need Albuquerque to do.
Yeah, it is.
We need to completely, and I think we can do it. If we go district by district and find people to run, because I am tired of voting in elections where I'm going down the ticket and I'm seeing Democrat running unopposed, running unopposed.
That's crazy.
Actually, what happens up here in the north is you have people who are Democrats running against Democrats. There's hardly anybody to vote for as a Republican.
Yeah.
You get a lot of that happening.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where a lot of the candidates who are running, they don't even bother to put on their sign whether they're a Democrat or Republican. You should already know by now. Kind of thing,
Yeah. Oh my
gosh. And I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it. We lose 100% of the races that we don't run.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, but it's hopeless to win in District 7 and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? You got to try. Because if you don't run, you can't win.
Well,
period.
You know, I mentioned that I spoke to Eddie earlier today, and I mentioned that to him, and he's all for it. I said, you know, Eddie, what we need to do is we need to get people among our group that are interested in running, that are good potential candidates, and we need to just push the hell out of them on the radio station. And
absolutely, give them a platform, have them come talk, reach out to their districts. I seriously want to get a huge district map of Albuquerque and start putting push pins in it and color code it and go, okay, who do we have running here? Who do we have in this district? Hey, if you live in this zip code, we need you to run. If you live in this zip code, contact us. If you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, you could contact us. We're just going to laugh at you. But we need, or independent or Green Party. I don't care at this point, as long as you're not a freaking socialist Marxist.
Right. Yeah.
Get out here, get your butt out of your seat. If you care about this city, if you care about your freedoms, start running. You don't have to want a political career. In fact, it's preferable that you don't.
Mm-hmm.
If serving on city council or a school board or a county seat is going to be an inconvenience to your life, then you are the kind of person that we need, because we do not need people who are looking for handouts, who are looking to soak up campaign dollars, looking to get rich off a taxpayer back.
Yeah.
We need citizens who are going to see this as a civic duty, and yes, it's going to interrupt your life, and no, it is not going to be convenient, but that's why it's public.
Well, and that's why you're a civil servant, you know.
Right.
It's not something you're supposed to get rich off of, and it's not something that's supposed to be a career.
No.
Right, but yeah, we have to pass bills that get the right people involved. They're going to get these career politicians out. We got to get people out like Pelosi, you know, Chuck Schumer. You know, we were just talking about Biden, you know, earlier. There's another career politician right there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you want change, you got to vote for the change. You can't just simply accept what you've been voting for again and again, you know. And I think we've been seeing that a little bit here in New Mexico. We've, you know, with Audrey Trujillo.
Yeah.
You know, Stephanie Lords.
Personally, Leo,
these are people who are never politicians before, but suddenly they said, you know, enough is enough.
Well,
we're going to stand up and we're going to do something.
Leo, I think what Audrey should do, Audrey should run for one of those city council seats.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Rancho or Corrales, she needs to run for
because
some kind of city council, you know, lead the way. You know what? All of our candidates who just lost races for Senate and representative, start running for your city council. Don't freaking give up because you just lost. And don't wait 4 years till the next time that seat comes around for election. Run for something
We
else.
could have tremendous power if we take over the city council.
Absolutely.
And we could have power from the bottom up. And I really think that could work, because you can have a tremendous amount of leverage if you control the city council.
Yeah. Leftists did it. Marxists have controlled Albuquerque for what, over 60, 70 years?
Mm-hmm.
They did it. They did it grassroots. They did it from the ground up. And now it's time we start doing the same.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I wish I could stay longer on the phone with you, but I got to get back. So
no, Natalie, thanks for calling in with that piece of information. That's good news.
Yes, it's amazing news. And so, everyone out there, if you called, if you emailed, even just one email, one call, just know you were a part of that victory, and the fight's not over.
Yeah.
Keep your dialing fingers warm.
Absolutely.
You know that they're going to try it again.
Oh yeah. It's not over. We still got a big fight ahead of us.
That's right. Well, you all have a good night. Stay free.
See you, Natalie.
You too.
Bye-bye.
So I was gonna, Leo, one of our listeners that's on, I'm watching the chat right now. David Roybal, he doesn't know what Pizzagate is. So I would suggest, I'm gonna try to do the best I can to explain it to you, David. It's pretty complex, but if you check out some of the QAnon sites. Oh, I lost Leo. Hopefully he can rejoin. Anyway, David, if you check out some of the QAnon sites, they talk about Pizzagate quite a lot. Basically what Pizzagate is where this secret cabal, whatever you want to call it, there you go. Okay, Leo's back.
Sorry.
There you go. Lost you there. This deep state cabal that you hear so much about. And you've heard Trump throughout his presidency focusing on trafficking, okay? This all goes together. Where Trump has been fighting against, and lots of arrests have been made on this child trafficking, which I suspect a lot of that was also going on with this illegal migration from the southern border. A lot of these kids that were being brought across the border were not with their parents. They were either, who knows, they might have been sold in some foreign country and some person that's bringing them across, and then who knows what happens to them after they're in the country. But basically what the Pizzagate thing is child trafficking, and basically being brought into slavery as a sex slave in many cases. And something even more sinister, if you do a little bit of research on adrenochrome, there is a lot of conspiracy theories out there about that. And anybody that didn't get my definition of a conspiracy theory, by the way, hi Diana, I see that you logged in. Don't let people make you think that calling something a conspiracy theory makes it not true. A conspiracy is a group of people conspiring together to do something, and a theory is, well, we don't have all the facts yet, but we have a lot of other evidence, but we haven't proven it yet. There is quite a lot on the whole Pizzagate thing, and we know for a fact that child sex trafficking is a real thing. It really is happening. And you'd also do a research, like I said, on adrenochrome. The theory on adrenochrome is you take a young child and you scare them to the point of where you're killing them, basically, where they know they're going to die, and they have this intense fear. And adrenochrome is like I think it's something that's comes from the pituitary gland when somebody is in extreme fear, and it's harvested like a drug. And these celebrities and politicians, the theory is that they're taking this adrenochrome and using it like a drug, where they get some kind of serious high or something off of it. So anyway.
Yeah, I've heard that before as well.
Is that what you heard too? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's some pretty evil stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there. You're not going to find it on a Google search. Matter of fact, if you do, Google is part of the deep state. And I explained this a few weeks ago, okay, about doing a Google search. Let's say you do want to do a Google search on something that is a conspiracy theory. Okay, if it's a conspiracy theory, then there should be a lot of stuff out there that people have posted, right? Wouldn't you think? That they've posted out there, whether it be true or not. Okay, don't you find it odd that if you do a search on Google for adrenochrome, try it yourself, you'll see what I mean. All you get is some BS definition of adrenochrome about, well, you'll see what I mean. But there are no stories whatsoever of any of these so-called people posting these stories. You're not going to find it on a Google search. It is being buried and hidden. They do not want you to read it. Now, if it's total BS and it's completely untrue, why wouldn't they want to share it so you could see that it's complete BS and it's not true, right? What do you think? You agree with me there? Why would they cover it up?
Yeah, there's been quite a few cover-ups. Like, look at the Kennedy assassination. You know, we all know that the sniper could have taken a shot that far away.
That's another one.
From a moving vehicle. That's an example of one. Supposedly, there's a lot of them out there, like you were saying about with Pizzagate. There's a lot of proof that says that child kidnapping has gone up. I mean, you see it all the time, everywhere you go. You know, it's definitely out there.
There's huge amounts of data out there about Pizzagate, but you will not find it on a Google search because Google doesn't want you to see it. So, by the way, Diana, adrenochrome is spelled ADRENOCHROME. So it's like adreno and then chrome. Put those two words together. And apparently there's a patent for adrenochrome too, which is really interesting. I put DuckDuckGo on my search engine too. I've been trying that out. I don't know if it's any better than better than Google or not.
Right.
But anyway, so that's an interesting conspiracy theory. And you're going to have to really dig, and you're going to have to look for some alternative sources. Like I said, a Google search is a complete total waste of time because they're totally hiding it.
Right.
So anyway, so another thing I wanted to talk about, Leo, is did you see the video of the lady in California that had the, I think it's some kind of saloon, like a bar and grill or something, in which she had gone to all this trouble to set up an outdoor patio in the parking lot so that she could have people come in there and eat at her restaurant. And Governor Newsom shut her down along with every other restaurant. But even though her restaurant is shut down and she's not allowed to have patrons come out and eat in the parking lot in her outdoor dining area she set up, a movie company literally set up in the same parking lot, just right across from her restaurant. And they're going to have caterers come in and all this kind of stuff for the actors and stuff. And that's okay.
No, I did not hear about that. That's
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about destroying people's rights. I mean, you see that with our own governor, you know, going out and buying jewelry on our own dime.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and having people open up for her, salon parlors. They were doing a Thanksgiving dinner for all the congressmen in Washington, D.C. until they thought about it. Oh no, we better make it to go. And they're $100, $150 plates, you know, the usual campaign type, you know, spread that they put for these individuals who are in control of our government, so to speak. Apparently not us.
Yeah.
Because they'd be under the same scrutiny as we are, you know. You know, you have people like Michelle Grisham who turned around and said, "Oh, well, I'm the exception to the rule," you know.
Right. Yeah, of course.
You hear these tyrannical people,
like
they can't even handle their own they can't even handle their own rules, you know.
Yeah. So here's the point I wanted to make about this lady in California. I really feel for her. I mean, she's really getting screwed over. But here's the thing, okay? And this is the thing everybody needs to understand. I was listening to her talking about what was going on. And one of the things she finished off her video on was she said, somebody needs to do something about this. Okay. The government is the problem right now. The government does not give a crap about your restaurant. They don't give a crap about your life savings. They don't care about whether you can buy food at the grocery store. They don't care if you can pay your bills or if you can pay your mortgage or if you get evicted from your home and you end up on the street. They don't care.
They don't care.
Okay, so
that's not part of their job.
when your life is being destroyed and you're waiting for somebody else to do something about it, let me break the news for you. They're not. Nobody's
Right.
going to come to your rescue. Nobody. Okay. So you know how we deal with this? Okay. There's a lot of patriots out there like me, like Leo, like hundreds of other people that we know that we have spent all year long organizing, going to protests, going to rallies. Get in with a group of people like that. And you know how you fight this? Number one, lady, okay, I watched your video and you're talking about how the government is oppressing you, but you know what? You were wearing your silly mask. Totally
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to be totally biased, non-biased towards it.
For starters, burn the damn mask. Okay, the masks are a scam. The masks are a control device to make you comply, to scare you. Okay, first of all, stop being afraid. Take off the mask. Get rid of the stupid mask. Tell them I'm not going to wear the mask anymore. And you know what? I'm going to get a bunch of my friends together. I'm going to open my restaurant. They're going to come here and they're going to have dinner at my restaurant. And when they come and try to shut me down, we're all going to block their path. That's what we're going to do. That's the only way this is going to end, people, is if you take it into your own hands and you simply, something that I've been saying for months now, refuse to comply. That's the only way this is going to end. Because they've got that power. They've got people rolling over, running around in fear, wearing their mask out, riding their bicycles on the street, driving in their cars, wearing a damn mask.
By themselves, inside of a vehicle.
Inside a car, by themselves. Yeah. Wake up, people. Stop being cheap.
Today, I was at a local restaurant, and they're only doing the pickup order, because they're really bad over here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So I get down without my mask, and I approach the front, and they're like, "You can't be here without a mask." And
I can be, and I will be.
And I walked away. Yeah. My business is going to be reserved for those who aren't going to play along with this or try to mandate. You know what? You're not the law. Do you want my business or not? You're suffering as it is, and now you're going to try to dictate me what you think the law is without actually research. It's not just the problem. It's not just the governors and the Congress who are becoming tyrannical. The people are becoming tyrannical. They're trying to, push people around. The whole, like what you went through when you went through that viral little video that you made at Target. Oh my God! The mask shaming that was being used was unprecedented. That was unreal.
Here I am putting myself out there for you people out there, and I am making a stand and I'm making a scene, and all of you sheeple in the Costco were too much of a freaking wuss to stand with me. Here I was I opened the door for you. All you had to do was join me and we could have made a difference, but no. You guys were a bunch of wusses. I'm not going to say the word that I really want to say because I'll probably get taken off Facebook again. I already just got off Facebook jail,
Yeah, I heard about that.
Probably after tonight I'll be back in again. But oh well, hey, whatever.
Who knows? Maybe me too.
Yeah, who knows? You can put me in the damn Facebook jail if you want to. So I can be a little bit more enthusiastic on here than I can on the radio.
Right.
A little bit. I have to watch my words a little bit more when I'm on the radio.
Right, of course.
And you got station licenses to worry about and stuff like that.
Right.
But here, I'll maybe get put in Facebook jail, Oh well, by the Facebook Nazis.
The fact checkers.
The fact checkers. Yes, because they know the answers to everything, right?
Nope. And then they resend your shit to something else. Like I think that is just totally bogus. Like, fact checker has checked your thing. Why don't you read this article, which is a complete lie, but has something to do with what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what was that? What are you? Little by little, they are taking away all our freedoms.
Yeah.
and people are just voluntarily giving them away. You know, all for a virus that kills less than 0.5% of the population.
Yeah.
That's what really disgusts me is that how could you just let it all go away for something that's the flu, for God's sakes? You gave away
That's all it is. That's
your
all it
rights
is.
for the flu.
Yeah.
You should be ashamed of yourself. And I
So
can honestly say that, because it's really attacking the people that are most vulnerable to a flu anyways. People
yeah.
with, bad respiratory systems, people with bad immune systems. It's affecting people who are born with no immune systems. Maybe the people near death, cancer patients, all that. Those are the people who are truly afraid for this virus because it's them who will get hit with it the most.
Yeah.
You said that you yourself even got it a while back, and
Yeah.
it seemed like a really bad cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what, a Z-Pack knocked it all out in 2 days? There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. And that seems to be the standard treatment is Z-Pak.
Yeah,
It very,
the
very
Z-Pack.
well. It clears up the whole lung inflammation thing. It works really well. Hey, by the way, okay, this is really interesting. Okay, so a couple things here I want to address because we got some real chatty people here on tonight. So both Diana and David Roybal, excuse me, David, if I'm saying that wrong. I think it's Roybal. Um, are saying they have to wear a mask for their job. Okay. Let me talk about that. I'm an independent contractor. And so I probably, and I really feel for you. If you're, oh, there went Leo again. If you're in a position where you work at a job, like a regular job where you go there at the beginning of the day and then you're done at the end of the day. There he is. He's back again.
Sorry. I'm trying to look at the chat and still get back to the video,
Okay.
and it kind of kicks me out every time, so I don't really get to see.
So anyway, I'll read it off the best I can.
Okay.
So I'm a independent contractor. Okay, so I just, basically my thing is, you want me to wear, if you demand I wear a mask to do your job, then screw you. I'm just going to go on my way and I'll find something else to do. And that's what I've been doing. Okay, which I am so thankful I am an independent contractor right now because each day, one of the things I do every day is I say a prayer. And one of the things I say in my prayer to God is like, God, please get me through this day and so that I can complete my work without issue. And, and you know what? God has provided for me. And I feel really, really fortunate. I think it's faith. You got to have faith. And so for every job where they're a jerk and they're on a power trip and they want me to wear a mask and I tell them, screw you, and I walk away, I get 2 more good jobs. So
That's good. That's awesome.
yeah. So that's what I've been doing. I have not bowed a single time at all. And I'm not going to. So for those of you that work jobs where you got to go at the beginning of the day and leave at the end of the day, I feel for you. But the thing that I have to, and somebody else even posted a message about this too, and I've been saying this all along. How much are you going to take from that job before you tell them to shove it and you walk? Okay. Is it going to, the mask apparently, okay, you're doing that. But what about when they tell you, hey, in order for you to be allowed to work, we need to stick this needle in your arm and give you this experimental vaccine that might render you sterile 5 or 10 years from now, or you might just flat out get sick and die, or God knows what else is going to happen to you because it's experimental. And are you going to agree to that too? And I'm not busting your chops here either. I'm honestly posing because this is what's going to happen. Then if you're a Christian, you might say, well, that's starting to look an awful like something I've read about in the Bible. And then maybe the next thing is, oh, somebody already mentioned this. Vaccination papers, certificates, proof
Right.
of vaccination.
I've heard of that. You know,
What
that's
about when they want to put that mark on your right hand or wrist, or I think like right in here somewhere? What about when they want to put that mark there and tell you that you're not allowed to work, you're not allowed to go in and shop anywhere unless you take that mark on your hand?
well, right as of right now, Ticketmaster has already put out that you are not allowed to go to any of their future venues for concerts and gatherings unless you show proof that you either have gotten the vaccination, which has yet to be put out, or as well as you must be tested. So to now go to a Ticketmaster event, you have to have proof that you are not positive or you've taken the vaccine of the
Yeah.
Rona.
So
So
that's right.
imagine that. So
Got you
right off the
trained.
bat, they're turning away customers
Yeah.
on this premises.
Yeah.
And that's already taking place. That's already taking place.
And if you're going to do that PCR test, they're going to take that swab, shove it all the way up into your brain. God knows what's on that swab that they're infecting you with. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about maybe what's on that swab that they want to stick way up in there?
And it's quite far. It's quite far up there.
Way on up there. Oh, I've seen it done. I guarantee it's never going to get done with me unless you want to get your hand broken, because you're not going to get anywhere near me with one of those things.
And it's totally unreliable.
Yeah. And interesting thing, maybe you guys might have heard about this interesting thing. Elon Musk tested the validity of these tests. He had 4 tests done on himself. Guess what? 2 of them showed positive, 2 of them showed negative. So you know what I've been telling people? It's like, rather than go to all that, just flip a coin and just decide.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be just as reliable. Okay. Let me see here. Oh yeah. David Roybal pointed this out. Now, I heard about this today myself, about an app that they want you to put on your phone.
Right, so they can follow you around.
Right.
The Governor Grisham has said that she wants us to be on that.
Yeah, health pass.
No, I don't think so. You know what? You cannot follow me around. That's my right. You know, like, Jesus Christ, this is not North Korea. You know,
anybody
we're not trying
to have a right to privacy. Yeah, where I go is my business.
Exactly. You have no idea. That's none of your business where I go. You know.
Ugh. David Russell, my friend David Russell, he said that swab thing was painful. It looks painful, and he had it done to him 3 times. It's like, I tell him where to put that swab.
It would have been painful for somebody.
Yeah, it would have been painful for them.
Yes.
Yeah, here, why don't you bend over and I'll give you that swab.
Yep.
So, let's see. What
there are some tests like that.
Yeah, there are those. Yeah. Yeah. Where they break out the rubber glove and the Vaseline and no. And then they tell you to relax.
Yeah.
We won't go into that. I can actually explain that from a medical perspective, but
yeah, that wouldn't make it as fun though.
You'd be surprised, but we're not going to do that on the show.
I got one question, Doctor. Are you using the entire fifth?
Yeah. There's a term for that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got a little theory of my own, and you can call this a conspiracy theory if you want to, and that's fine. It actually is. It is a theory. It's my theory, and it is a conspiracy. So, you know how the big corporations, so many of them are adopting their own policies. Like, we had a job we went to. My friend Mark here went to a job the other day. He sometimes goes as my assistant, and he'll go cover a job sometimes when I'm double booked. So he went to one the other day at this UBS in Santa Fe. It's an office building, closed, about 10,000 square feet, maybe 2 people working in there. They demanded that he wear a mask when he came in there to do his
Oh yeah,
work.
I heard that on the show the other day.
Yeah.
And they called you up, and
They
you said you were
called me.
happy that. Yeah, I was happy that he wasn't wearing a mask,
Yeah.
and
And
they
she
got
said,
pretty
well,
upset about that.
our policy is that anybody that comes in here has to wear a mask. And I said, well, that's fine. I said, my policy is that my technicians don't wear a mask. So we have a problem here.
Right.
Right.
So who won the problem?
Well, he ended up just turning away and walking away, and they didn't get their stuff done. Too bad. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
My policy against your policy. A question: did your guys' policy have something to begin with? We the people?
Yeah, apparently not. Ours do, but theirs didn't. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well, you see,
another thing. This is how crazy these people are getting. She said that she didn't want him coming in without a mask because she didn't want to die. And I said, lady, I really hate to break this to you,
but you're gonna die.
We're all gonna die. And she just couldn't. She was just so taken. Oh my God, I can't believe this. It's like, well, it's true, right?
Well, maybe she thought she was gonna live forever, and you just burst her bubble. Like
she could think that magic mask is gonna prevent death itself. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, if she used it for something else besides the Rona, maybe it might preserve something. But
yeah, I don't know. It's hard.
It's hard to say on that one.
What's this here? Oh, hold on here. I'm getting a lot of messages here from David Roybal. Let's see. Let's see what he's saying. He told his head hurt. The test was negative. It was because his teeth need. Yeah, this is something I thought of a while back. People nowadays, they've got them so scared, they think everything's the Rona. They get a headache, they think they got the Rona. They get a runny nose, they think they got the Rona. Everybody's wanting to run out to get a Rona test for everything. It's like, people, let me tell you, chances are it's not the Rona. If you got a toothache, you probably need to go to the dentist.
Are you sure it's not the Rona?
I don't know. It could be.
What if you fall down and break your leg? Is that the Rona?
It might be. Yeah. If you die from it. If you die from it, then they'll check you for the Rona. And regardless of whether you broke your neck when in the fall, and if you test positive for the Rona, well, it was the Rona that killed you.
Quite possibly.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Leo, what name do you like the best? Do you like the Rona? Do you like the I like the Kung Flu. I think that's kind of cool. Do you like the Wuhan virus, the China virus? What's your favorite?
I call it the Wuhan virus.
The Wuhan virus. Well, she's the problem with the state, not anything to do with the Rona.
But
the disease in this state is the tiny tyrant in Santa Fe. If we were to eliminate her, then the problem would go away.
Yeah, you see, but she's behind the Rona, so
yeah.
I kind of consider, because if you really think about it, it's not the disease, it's the pressure these politicians and the large media are putting out about it. Because if we were to actually treat it the way it should be treated, be like, oh, yeah, the Rona, oh, my kid had that yesterday. I know, it's going around, right?
Yeah.
That'd be the conversation. But I'm sorry, but in the past 20 years, being in the medical field, I haven't heard anybody complain about the flu season. I didn't really hear anybody complain about SARS. I didn't hear anybody complain about N1H1, avian flu. If you got it and somebody died, oh, well, I'm sorry, but it would still, life carries on. Sorry to hear that they died of something that's not usual. What are you going to do? I mean, you got to be sick. You got to be sick to be healthy. That's the truth.
Well, yeah, everybody gets sick from time. I had the flu this year. I got the flu like a month or so ago, and it lasted about 3 days, which is about the normal course that the flu takes, about a few days.
And now you won't get it for a long time because, at least that's true,
I got
because your body builds up the antibiotics for the immunity system in you.
Yeah. So
And it's the same thing with the corona. I mean,
probably good with
and on all reality, everybody should get it that's healthy. That way we can all just get over it, kind of like the smallpox.
Back in January, so I'm probably good for
chickenpox, sorry. Chickenpox, your kid's got chickenpox, you bring over your other kid to get it along with them.
Right,
that way they get it and they get it over with.
Yeah.
Because it's how when you get older.
So, I got sidetracked there. That happens pretty often. So I was talking about these big corporations that the government thinks it's okay for them to be open, but not for the mom and pop stores to be open. So here's just a little thing I was thinking about. And these corporations, these big corporations, they're already adopting their own policies. They don't even care what the health guidelines are or any of that stuff. They're making up their own rules at this point. And they don't, the whole concept of customer service and treating the customer with respect and the customer's always right, all of that crap's just gone right out the window. Now they just treat you as bad as they want and they don't care anymore. So here's the thing that you should find to be rather scary. Okay, you run all the mom and pops out of business. All you have are the big corporations. And the mom and pops completely go out of business. All of them go out of business. All you have are the big box stores that are left. So, and you don't have any choices anymore. Well, once you wipe out all the competition and all you have are the big corporations, and all of us know big corporations don't really give a crap about people. They just care about profits. They just care, they don't care about people. Corporations are, even though there are people that run on the board of directors of corporations, when it comes right down to it, they have no connection to the actual customers. Not like mom and pop stores do. So this whole thing that I mentioned sometimes about the mark of the beast and not being able to buy and sell and things like that. The big corporations, once you have no choices anymore and you have like one or two places you can go, they cut you off. You no longer are able to get anything because you've allowed the big corporations to completely take over.
Now here's where I think about that. I think it's about totalitarian fascism.
Yeah.
More important, I believe it's complementary to Bolshevik.
After the corporations take over, that's what comes next.
Yeah, exactly. So what they're doing is they're running the mom and pop businesses out, right? And so you just have these big boxes, around. Well, they're already conditioning you, like either you do it as the way we say it, and we have these products available. Really think about it. You're pretty much shopping already in a second, third world country where, democracy no longer exists. We're gonna give you these food lines. Right now we're calling them commodities. We're calling them whatever welfare lines. That you go get your groceries. They've already decided what you're gonna get, what you're not gonna get.
Yeah.
And where you're gonna get it, what time you're gonna get it, how many people will get it. And then when you try to do it on your own, even if you have your own money, here we go with fascism again with the big box companies, because it's going to be what they want to offer you and then what's left on the shelf, right? Yeah. Isn't that what it's like in a communist country when you try to go shopping? Their shelves are looking like our shelves. So they're already conditioning us to go through under this communist state. So I think it's more than, a religion. Some people call it course, religion. You can call whatever you want at this point.
Yeah.
I think with a lot of these conspiracy theories, you can call it a conspiracy theory. You can
Yeah.
call it revelations.
Yeah.
You can call it many things, but it seems like to a certain percent, they're right about certain things. Certain things are literally taking place, and we're watching them unfold as though
Yeah.
they have been trying to tell us in so many ways. No matter what you think or believe, it's happening right now.
It is. So that kind of leads back to what I was saying a few minutes ago. If you're a Christian and you understand what we're talking about, when we talk about end times, which I believe we're in them, I really do. I believe that for this entire year because, people have said that sort of stuff before in my lifetime, but it was always just kind of regional but this is global, okay?
Right.
What's going on right now in the United States is not just going on in the United States. It's going on all over the world. This is global. This is the only time I've ever seen this in my lifetime of where something like this, where fascism is on the march globally.
Yeah, I just had a cousin that came back from Mexico, and she went out for a vacation,
Uh-huh.
and she says that even Mexico was a little bit more open than we were here in New Mexico. But
Yeah.
they're still doing the certain distancing things. They're still doing certain things, So
Yeah.
it's getting taking place worldwide,
Yeah. What they're doing is they are separating us. They don't want us to talk to each other. They've got everybody's faces covered. We can't communicate with each other. We all see each other as just like drones walking around without faces. And they
Right.
are destroying society and desensitizing us and separating us, and they don't want us, oh my God, they don't want us to go to bars. I was thinking about this the other day about if you're a single person and you're interested in meeting someone, how in the world could you possibly meet anybody under these conditions? You can't go out to clubs where people hang out.
No.
You can't go to places where people socialize and get to know somebody, or, spot somebody from across the room that you're interested in. Just walk up to them, say, hey, my name
Yeah,
is
exactly.
whatever, and sit down, have a conversation with them. No, they don't want us to communicate with each other. They don't want us to gather. They don't want us to talk. They don't want us to organize. And the only way this is going to be stopped is if
But they'll let us riot. They'll let us burn down churches. They won't let us exist inside of churches.
right.
There's just so many catch-22 situations that we're seeing across the board of how this has absolutely nothing to do with Rona,
No,
whatever you want to call it.
Corona. You said the C word, Leo.
Oh, sorry.
Strike one for you.
Better watch it. I'll get fined now.
That's right.
You'll go to Rebecca jail.
You'll be in Rebecca jail then.
Oh,
You
no.
think Facebook jail's bad?
He spreads fascism. I was kidding.
Right. You want to see some fascism? I'll show it to you. This is so funny. We have this, I'm going to call him a fan of Natalie and I on our radio show. His name's Chris, and who knows? Maybe
Oh, I heard him once. Yeah.
Yes, Chris. He called us fascist. He said that we should change our name to the Fascist Girls. He obviously has no idea what fascism is. It's like, okay, how could we be more opposite of fascism than we are? I don't know.
Well, I'm sure there's a certain extent more, but
Maybe,
yeah.
I don't know. But my attitude is live your life however you want to. Just stay out of my face and leave me alone. That's all I ask. Right? That's not fascism.
That's common sense.
That's freedom.
Well, that's racist.
Oh, you're right. That's racist.
Oh my God. What was I thinking? Of course, he's right. He's right. Leo's right.
Oh my God. Oh, really? Oh. David Russell, he just said that American Legion veterans of foreign wars chapters are closing up shop and selling off their properties. That's sad.
Wow.
That's sad.
That's not even good. That's not right at all.
No. I just, tell everybody that either you push back now and you just do the peaceful way of civil disobedience, refusing to comply. If you can gather a bunch of friends together and you see one of these stores, they got everybody lining up outside the store, freezing off their butts, waiting an hour to get in. Get a whole big group of friends together and just walk right on in.
Walk right in.
And then when you do, invite everybody in the line to follow you in. That's the only way we're going to end this, is if we simply start ignoring.
Wait, you can't shop. You can't shop. Stop.
Stop. Yeah, right. Get in there, get your large group in there, and just disperse as soon as you get in the store. What are they going to do about it, right?
By the way, today was Pearl Harbor Day.
Oh, so is that the day you get bombed?
That's what I'm doing now.
Today is Pearl Harbor Day?
Today is Pearl Harbor Day.
It is.
December 7th.
And I didn't get bombed today. Maybe
I'm working on it.
I still got some time.
Yes,
Yeah.
you got time.
Yeah.
That's how I celebrate Pearl Harbor Day.
So let's see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about here.
Voting.
Huh?
The vote.
The vote.
I only got to talk about it.
Let me mention something, and then you can tell me an update on what you've been doing. Okay, so one of the things I heard was that there are more votes in New Mexico than registered votors.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, remember I told you to compare that to the statistics I found the other day with me being part of the recount?
Hold on. My roommate, he
got a phone call.
Want to turn his ringer down. Okay, so what were you saying?
Hello?
36,000 people, over 36,000 people as a population exists between the counties of San Miguel, Mora, and Guadalupe County.
Uh-huh.
Yet I got 20,000 ballot claims of incorrectness to view. That's an astonishing number. So you mean to tell me that within the 3 counties, there exists only 16,000 people who cannot vote?
Interesting.
Yeah. Those are it's like, did we drop the age for voters? Did we go 200% voting this time? What happened there,
It's boy, strange times, huh?
Yeah, the anomaly of, the age. Maybe we dropped back to dropped age voting into 12 years old. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
Cats.
You don't forget the dead people and the dogs and cats voting.
Yes.
That's where it came from.
Oh well, no. It's, you see, that's old school.
Oh, okay.
That's not even trying anymore. If you're using dead bodies to vote, you're going about it slow. First you start off with what I have found. With the missing addresses. An address that doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah.
And then when you've filled up all the addresses that no longer exist, then you move on to the second part of the game, which is you start making streets that don't exist. Imagine that. Entire streets didn't exist. It didn't matter how many times I try to type it in. It would even go into the circumference of the town that it was supposedly in. It wasn't in the...
I have the answer for that, Leo. People from alternate realities are voting.
Yes.
And that'll
explain why their secondary address is in another county as well as in another state.
I just did it out for you.
Okay. Well, I'll remember to write in
Yeah.
the fourth dimension.
Right.
You know, resort to those who think that
Yeah.
you know,
What is
right,
it?
You're a racist. I don't know. I just felt like saying that.
right, because of another dimension.
Yeah.
Could be racist against somebody else in a
Dimensional.
different dimension that's
Yeah.
voting.
Yeah.
That belongs to a different race of human beings.
By the way, David Russell apparently is celebrating Pearl Harbor Day. He said he got a bottle of Jack Daniel's Sinatra Select.
Ooh.
So he's getting bombed.
Okay. Can you give me his address? I'll be right over.
And the other David, let's see, what did he say here? He said his mom got a ballot for her ex-husband of 25 years, and my brother and two for her. Can you imagine the people that hate Trump and sent them all in? Gosh, I can't imagine that ever happening.
Yeah,
Right?
I forgot to tell you that I was flagged for it too.
Yeah.
They got the mailing address correct, but they didn't get my birthday correct. Instead of being born on the 4th of July,
Yeah.
I was now a New Year's Eve baby. So they switched my holiday.
Well, that sucks, I guess.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the 4th of July, but
Yeah.
now I'm gonna be a New Year's Eve baby. So
4th of July, you get fireworks for your birthday every year. That's kind of cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
people get you have fiestas, everything, the whole 9 yards,
Yeah.
uh, parades.
Yeah.
But now it's New
A
Year's Eve.
parade for your birthday. That's awesome.
So I guess I turn 41 now. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I guess that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have 2 birthdays in a year. Imagine that. Who's gonna
God,
luck out like
if
that?
that keeps up, you're going to be gone in no time.
Right, I'll be 80 by the time it's this
You're
time
going to
next
start
year.
wearing a mask so that you don't have to worry about dying. Right?
Right.
He's double dipping
No,
on the
no.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mark made a point. He said you get to double dip on the gifts that way. That's kind of cool. Right?
Can probably look at it like that.
Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way. So, all right.
Do I go a year forward or a year back?
Huh?
Do I go a year forward or a year back?
Wow, I don't know.
I've never had a double birthday.
A double
I don't know what happens.
I don't know either. Huh. Hard to say.
Right. Along with that, did you also know that people have registered addresses in empty fields? Yeah. Invisible houses.
Maybe they live in a tent and they just didn't happen to have the tent set up at the time.
Quite possibly, or maybe they live underground.
Underground, exactly.
Yes, we didn't think about that one.
Secret entrance that you can't see.
Right.
That's probably what it is.
Right.
You probably want to drive home, don't you, Leo?
We're going into a pretty good conversation here. I'm actually enjoying, talking about this. But all jokes aside, people, I actually am working for the recount, and I am working with San Miguel, Guadalupe, and Mora County. And what even though I'm saying it jokingly, I really did find this evidence. I really did find no addresses, no streets that didn't exist, empty fields. And it's just the tip of the iceberg of what I've uncovered so far, and have been able to send to my colleagues. But it's definite, real. It's out there. The numbers themselves, when I looked at them and compared them just to the population alone, I was like, what? Over 103% voted, when generally there's only an 80% turnout.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. I mean, they ran out of ways to usually lie. I mean, coming up with a whole street that doesn't exist in a town, or in any surrounding area. I even tried changing the like say it would say in Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this street doesn't exist in Santa Rosa. Let's try La Loma, which is an outskirt little town within the Guadalupe County. And again, I try to give the benefit doubt of the best, and a lot of the times, not to say that there weren't times where I found, addresses difficult to find. I can see that. Sometimes you get an address and it looks like a person lives there, but you can't confirm it all completely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. But you can by seeing the evidence for itself can more or less give what they were talking about. When Trump's team went to speak on his behalf for lawyers like Giuliani and some of the other lawyers she had. Yeah, you do see a little bit of awkwardness, like voter irregularities. I did see that, but there's clear fraud. I mean, when you can't find an address, you can't find a street, people may somewhat forget, like, oh, okay, maybe he wrote down the wrong zip code. That happens in a rural area, because you're so divided. Like Mora is a county; it's also the town. If you ask somebody from around there, where are you from? I'm from Mora. And Mora, or oh no, I'm from Ledukes. Okay, well that's a different zip code, because you're within a different town. But when you completely forget your address, there's something wrong there. Or
Yeah.
why do you have an address in another county or in another state? That you can't mask that up. I mean, why would you have a return address somewhere else completely different where you no longer live? That doesn't make sense. Your primary address should be more or less your secondary address, or maybe you have a PO box number. But that doesn't happen.
When you vote, I mean, you've got to confirm your current address.
Right. And believe it or not, that wasn't the only problem. Check it out. I have found addresses at a hospital.
Well, maybe they were sick for a really long time and they just went ahead and updated their driver's license for that.
Yeah, but perhaps that would have been acceptable, except there's two individuals doing that from a hospital, the same hospital.
Well,
I found one address to a church. A church.
Somebody lived at a church.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. He's sleeping on the pews or something.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Some other ones were business locations.
Yeah.
So they were commercial, not residential areas. One of them was a bar.
Well, maybe they like to drink a lot.
Yeah, he's Norm from Cheers. Just come in, drop off your mail there.
Yeah.
I can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't. Well, you could, but, yeah.
You don't have to.
I guess you don't have to.
No, you don't. I want to see how that mail is delivered to that bar. I want to know who lives in a bar.
That's right. Yeah.
The happiest man alive, probably,
I don't know. Oh, well.
I remember I lived in the EM club for quite a while.
Well, Leo, I appreciate you coming on with me tonight. It's
Absolutely.
been fun.
It has.
Yeah. I hope everybody out there enjoyed it too. I have. It's been interesting. So, everybody that's out there, I don't know. I know some of you are local. I'm not David Roybal. I'm not sure if you're local or not. Are you local, David Roybal? I'm not sure. And I know David Russell is local. Diana Yates is in there. So, oh yeah. David Roybal says we need to bring you back, and you come back whenever you have like more information on the recount.
Sure.
Then
Well, Bernalillo, I don't know if you guys know this already, but Bernalillo is subpoenaing votes. So something's getting done in Bernalillo as we speak.
Okay,
So,
cool.
so
And
that's
by
going
the
on.
way,
Also,
I
I just wanted to mention really quick,
yeah,
I am going to the rally at 12, the
that's on
Capitol.
Saturday. That's this
Uh,
coming Saturday.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
so do me a favor while you're up there. You know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be on the radio
Of course.
from 1 to 4, and you'll be up there during that period of time, right?
I should be, yeah.
Okay. So when you're up there, call in to the radio show on Saturday and just talk to us and tell us what's going on up there.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so for those of you that don't know, Natalie and I are also on KIVA, the Rock of Talk, on Saturday from 1 to 4. Sometimes around 1 to 5. You never know. It's strange. Sometimes Eddie just says, "Hey, can you guys go another hour?" It's like, we can go forever, you know. Anyway, so we're on from 1 to 4 on 1600 AM and 93.7 FM in Albuquerque on KIVA, the Rock of Talk. And if you can tune in, if you're local, you can listen to us on the radio. And if you're not local, you can put the Rock of Talk app on your phone and listen to us anywhere. Or you can also, on your computer, you can go to rockoftalk.com and listen to us on there live when we're on the radio. And you can, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug this on our webcast, but I would highly recommend you check out the rockoftalk.chat, because all of Natalie and I's Liberty Ladies Unite shows are on there. You can listen to the playback on all of our Saturday shows. And you can also just a wealth of articles on there for all the things that are going on currently in the country that you're not going to be able to find out about on the lying mainstream news.
Right.
So,
You know, I'm so sad that Chris Tucker went to the other side. I was like, what did you do that for? You know?
yeah.
You could have just quit your job at Fox and gone over to Newsmax.
Yeah.
And we would have still loved you. We would have understood.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You might be saving bucks or making more bucks, but he lost a lot of people's respect when he did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? It reminds me of the time when Clinton turned around and he said, "I don't inhale." Well, the people that smoked pot didn't respect you for saying that, and the
Right.
conservatives that hated marijuana now hate you twice as worse. You know?
Yeah. It's like you look like an idiot either way.
Yeah, you shot yourself in the foot there, dude. You should have just said nothing.
Right. Yeah. It's like that's just stupid.
Don't know how to inhale. What's he smoking?
Yeah. Right. So anyway, so yeah, call me from the rally. And apparently, hey, David Roybal, are you going to be going to the Roundhouse on this coming Saturday? Because, yeah, there's going to be a big rally up there. Go if you can and invite everybody you can. That's how we can make a difference. And yeah. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention, for those of you that don't know, Eddie Aragon, which owns KIVA, the Rock of Talk, which is the station that Natalie and I are on Saturday. He owns that station. He is running to be the RNC chair for New Mexico, which I think is awesome because Steve Pierce is a total waste. Steve Pierce, you know, we had these rallies.
He's a rhino.
He's a rhino, and he's completely, he just does nothing. And it's like all year I was putting myself out there, and hey, what are you doing there, camera? I was putting myself out there, organizing, attending rallies all over the state, and I'm not a politician. I'm simply a concerned citizen that cares about my state, cares about my home where I live. And I was going to all these rallies. I even made a few speeches at some of them. And yet Steve Pierce was nowhere to be seen. He didn't come to a single rally that I know of. And
Oxygen thief.
if you, an oxygen thief. If you check out rockoftalk.com, rockoftalk.chat, Eddie Aragon posted a really, really good article on there about all the things that Steve Pierce did not do. Steve Pierce didn't seem to do much of anything. And
I don't know if
our elections our elections didn't go great in this state.
No, he didn't help at all.
He didn't help.
That made there's a big separation between the GOP and Trump supporters. There's a major gap that's gone nationwide around that. Also, second vice chair Ash, our Ash is going for the RNC. So that's a good thing,
Eddie Aragon's got a great plan, and I hope that he gets the chairman position because he's got a great platform. He owns a radio station. He's on there all the time. And Natalie and I are also on there on Saturday, and we're big time Trump supporters.
Yeah.
By the way, Leo, what time is that rally on Saturday? Do you know? It's
the 12th day on the 12th month at 12 noon.
Okay, there you go. Okay, that's easy to remember.
12. It's easy to remember.
David Roybal was asking when it is. So, David, it's Saturday at 12 at the Roundhouse. So, go if you can.
12. Yes.
12. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm getting kind of tired, Leo. So we've actually been going for an hour and 41 minutes.
Yeah, almost 2 hours.
I know. That's about how long Natalie and I normally go. And it's like, well, we just had some cool stuff to talk about.
Right.
David,
let's do this again.
Anyway. All right. Well, Leo, thank you for guest co-hosting with me.
Thank you on such short notice, but thank you. It was awesome.
Yeah. And I want to tell everybody out there, just remember one thing, and I always say that's at the end of all my shows, resistance is not futile.
Exactly.
So good night, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next show. Thanks, Leo.
Thank you.